Hey, what is going on guys, and welcome to a special video here where I'm going to be showing you the new features for career mode in FIFA 17, plus some screenshots and my personal opinions on them as well. I'll be reading through this article with you and giving my thoughts on each feature, but I'd also like you guys to let me know what you think as well today in the comment section down below. So let's take a look at the new additions to FIFA 17's career mode and analyse the improvements and see whether EA have done a lot of good work to the game mode that we all love. So this is an article that was posted to their website on Friday evening. It's now Monday afternoon. And let's take a look together at the new features for FIFA 17's career mode. So as you can see, yellow and black will be the color scheme for the new year, and let's go ahead and take a look at the new features. So we start off with the introductory paragraph, and it says right here, FIFA 17's career mode on PlayStation 4, Xbox One and PC adds depth to your experience with new features that give you even greater control over your club's season. The option to compete in the J League and your fully rendered manager avatar roaming the sidelines. So as we move into the first feature then, it's total club management, and it says total club management gives you new objectives to fulfill based upon your board's priorities. Each team now has a unique personality which dictates the goals you'll need to achieve in both the short and long term to succeed at your club. Your board's expectations fall into 5 categories: domestic success, continental success, brand exposure, financial and youth development. So basically these are the objectives that we get year after year in career mode already. You'll know that every time you start a new season with your team in career mode, you'll be given domestic objectives. So for example, the cup and the league, reach the semi-final of the cup, or to win the league title. And also if you're in a European competition, either the Euro League or Champions Cup as they're called in the game, you'll be told to either win it or reach the final or reach the semi-final, whatever. So yeah, we already have these 2 objectives in the game already, but now, as you can see, we'll be given 3 more objectives too, which are brand exposure, which is quite interesting, and financial and youth development. The latter 2 are quite self-explanatory, but brand exposure does interest me quite a bit. So let's read on. As we see the first screenshot here, then, and as you can see, EA used the Real Madrid side as their sort of default team for this one. Then you can see the board expectations there, the section in detail. I'd imagine this is when you sort of choose your team to start your career mode with. A brief summary of the club in the top right, in the bottom right the ground, next to that the kits, and just above that the finances in brief as well. So just before we move on here, we can see right here the board expectations, they have a number underneath each one. So for domestic success, continental success and also brand exposure, it's number 1, which is critical, which means these would be the most important aims to the board and most important objectives, whereas financial is a low objective and youth development is 2, which is high. So that means that the board, or so we'd imagine, would care far more about the brand exposure of Real Madrid and how they get on off the pitch, as opposed to their finances. For example, they don't really care too much about the structure of the club financially. So that's kind of interesting because, of course, this year we have like league objectives and again cup objectives and continental objectives as well. But now we can tell what the board care about most. So that's kind of cool. So year after year, that will probably change. And let's move on. So it says, promote youth players, return to the top division, expand your club's brand in Asia, sign world-class players. These are just some examples of the objectives you can expect in career mode in FIFA 17. You'll be able to see your progress on these objectives from a new menu within career mode. Achieve the goals to keep your managerial popularity rating on target. That managerial popularity rating right here is shown, and it's 80 for this manager right here. I'd imagine it's probably 0 to 100, or 0 to 100 I should say, or 1 to 100. And right now this manager is currently 80. It's kind of disappointing because this is an objective screen right here in the office section. And it currently it's highlighted the overview, but it's not highlighting the youth development, the brand exposure, and the other 3 down below as well, which is kind of disappointing because I was hoping to see what objectives you'll get given for things such as youth development and brand exposure. But you can see some of the default ones right here. Some of the basic examples are to promote youth players. So maybe 1 year you'll have to promote like 3 youth players to your first team, or if you're in a lower division, return to the top tier, expand your club's brand in Asia. Not sure what that will be about, but sign world-class players. You might have to sign at least 1 85 plus rated player to your side 1 season, for example. I'm not entirely sure, but that's kind of cool. Basically though, it's not really a new feature, this one. This is like expanding on an old feature. We already have objectives right now, but we've got more to worry about and in more detail as well, which is cool. But again, it's not really a new feature. It's not a groundbreaking feature, that's for sure, but it is an addition to currently a feature we currently have right now. So that's cool. And the final section does say whether you're returning a fallen giant to their former glory, turning your team into a European powerhouse with the help of a world-class youth program, or keeping your club finances in the black. Total club management keeps your career experience fresh and dynamic season by season. So yeah, year after year, these will change in terms of priority from the board, and it's cool. It's cool to know they're improving the objective side of the career. but it's not a new feature, or so I wouldn't say. It's just improving an old feature. But anyway, moving on. Financial system. FIFA 17 Career Mode introduces Club Worth, a rewritten and authentic club financial system with different sources of income and expense. You'll now be able to see a detailed breakdown of your income from transfers, loans, matchday revenue, media and merchandising, while your outgoings on player and scout wages, youth facilities, stay maintenance and travel will also be visible to you in the finances menu. This will keep your finances in check, a must for every modern day football club. Now, the one thing I'll say about this is that when I first heard about this, I was really excited because in previous career modes, many years ago, you used to be able to improve certain aspects of your club. Like, for example, you could improve your youth facility category or your stadium category, attack coaching, defense coaching and whatnot. And with financial system, I was thinking that would be quite similar. So we'd see the return of what was an old feature in terms of improving things off the pitch and spending money on that. It seems as though that's not true. It looks as though this is just a more detailed look at your finances. Now, right now, we can see our finances in career mode. There's a slider with transfer budget and wage budget, and we can alter it to our needs. But it seems as though this is just going to be a more detailed look at that, basically. You can see right here, there's an overview section of the finances, profit, how much money you're making and or possibly losing, your expenses, where your money's going out and your earnings, where it's coming in. And you can see those in details as well. So the earnings section highlighted here, where your money's coming in, player sales, for example, and your merchandising, and your expenses too, what players you bought, how much they cost, and also the player wage structure too. But that's it, and that's quite disappointing because this is just a more detailed look at your finances. I was hoping that you'd have more control over this. As it says earlier, you get greater control over your club. What does it say that? It says up here somewhere. It gives you even greater control over your club season. I was hoping that you might be able to set like ticket prices, for example, and set season ticket prices per stand. For example, with merchandising for Real Madrid, for example, you might be able to see like 1 year, for example, Cristiano Ronaldo sold. You got so many shirts sold of Ronaldo's name on the back. Next year, you might make a big new signing to the club, like maybe De Gea comes to Real Madrid, you buy him for next season, and then he sells more shirts to Ronaldo or something. So you see how your merchandising breaks down and where the money's coming in the merchandising section. The control, for example, over ticket prices. For example, you might be able to do like fan days, like kids for £1, for example, and you can control how much the tickets cost, the season tickets and whatnot, how much money you're raising. But in general, you can't do that at all, or so it seems. You can't do that at all. This is just a more detailed look at the finance section we already have right now. So it's cool to know we get a better breakdown and we can see where we're gaining and also losing our money. But in general, it's not really a new feature, it's just an improvement on an old feature. This is more cosmetic than anything. It just makes the game look more aesthetically pleasing. Anyway, moving on. Managers, powered by Frostbite for the PC, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Managers are brought to life on the touchline for the first time in career mode. You'll be able to choose one of 11 high-res coaches to occupy the technical area, which you will then see during the gameplay. This is the one screenshot they have, and so you get 11 default avatars, and you can customize the name and nationality as like before, and you might not be able to make this out on the video. You might have to go to the article to see this yourself, but I'll point out to you regardless. EA have chosen the second manager out of the 6 you can see right here, and you can see the avatar to the side. Just above this bold guy's head, it does say suit, and also there's 3 little dots here, and I'd imagine what you can do is possibly flick the right stick to the right, move on to the second and third one, and the second attire might have him in, this bold guy being the same guy, but you might be dressed in a tracksuit, and in the third one, he might be wearing a polo shirt and cargo shorts and flip-flops. I don't know, but you can basically customize this geezer to make him however you want him. But in general, you get 6 out of 11 characters. It seems as though there's no option for a game face. Now, of course, right now, if you have a virtual pro career, you can scan your game face onto that virtual pro, so it makes him look like you. With this, you don't really get that. It's just 11 characters who may not look like you in the slightest. And I think the real disappointment to this is that when we make our managers, we sort of like to think of them as ourselves, don't we, right? We like to think of ourselves as actually managing the club. But these characters, maybe there are more detailed and more customizable ones towards the bottom, we don't know. But it looks as though, as it says right here, you'll be able to choose one of 11 high-res coaches to occupy the technical area, which you'll then see during the gameplay. These are just going to be 11 guys who aren't looking like you at all, and so you might feel as though it lacks a bit of immersive feel to the game, knowing that even though you can name this manager yourself, you might not look like this guy at all. So when it cuts to this manager, as it says right here, you'll see them during the gameplay. After a shot shot goes wide, for example, you might see a little cutscene or an animation afterwards where it cuts to the manager like putting his hands on his head or something, I don't know. But you won't be able to customize this guy or his appearance other than what he's wearing to make him and to sculpt him to look a bit more like you. It will just be someone you sort of hire as your manager to stand on the touchline, which is quite disappointing because it lacks the immersive feel. And if you're a female player, we don't know for sure because this is just 6 of the 11, but there may not even be a female avatar, so you'll be very disappointed. But in general, yeah, it's a little bit, this is very limited. This is extremely limited and a little bit disappointing, I would say. And the final feature here is the new league. The Japan J1 League is joining the list of leagues in which you'll be able to compete in FIFA 17's career mode. And you can see right here, it's got Gamba Osaka, one of the Japanese teams. And this is the screen we saw for Rounded earlier. And that's it. So in general, and as an assessment of the features as a whole, I'm going to give my overview and my feedback on the whole of what I think about these features. The one sort of thing that I would say sort of sums it up the best for me is that it says at the top here, new features in FIFA 17's career mode. I think that's a little bit cheeky from EA because in general, I think these, I keep saying in general, don't I? Honestly, I feel as though these aren't new features. These are just enhancing old features and current features because, again, we already have objectives. We're just getting more. We already have a finance section. We just get a better detail. We get a more detailed look over it. We already have managers on the touchline right now. But now you'll be able to choose between 11 characters. Again, this is kind of cool. We get to customize what our manager looks like because right now we see our managers on the touchline, and from time to time they might sort of like wave their arms around a little bit. But for the most part, they're quite static and they never get cut to. So that's kind of cool. That we might see them in cutscenes and whatnot. And for the new league as well, that is new. Obviously, the Japan League, the J League. I don't know much about it, but I don't think it's ever been in a FIFA before. But it is now, so that's kind of cool. But for the casual player, I don't think they'll care too much about this. But yeah, I'm quite disappointed. I'm quite disappointed because these features really are cosmetic more than anything. It's very, very cheeky from EA to call them new features because, again, these are really enhancements on old features. We're not seeing things like an online career mode or a groundbreaking feature like that, or the ability to even like upgrade your stadium as the year goes by, as the seasons go by, for example. Like if you're doing a Road to Glory career mode and you start off in League 2 and you get to the Champions League at some point, you're probably not still going to be playing at like an 8,000-seater stadium, but there's no improvement to that again. Just in general, these are features which are quite disappointing, and they I'll put it this way, I'm a little bit let down. I'm a little bit let down by these features, and maybe you guys disagree with me. Maybe you guys are excited for this year's FIFA. Maybe you think that these are really, really good changes and really, really good improvements. But honestly speaking, I don't feel that way at all. I think when we're spending 50 quid year after year, to buy a game, and primarily for this game mode as well, you have to feel quite disappointed that this is a neglected game mode which is just being left to rot, and year after year the little improvements they make really are just that, little improvements. I don't think these are massive features personally. They are improvements. There are more objectives, off the pitch objectives. They'll change year after year. That'll be kind of cool. But really, like with player training and preseason tournaments from last year, they're not massive features to shout about from the rooftops. They're very, very, very basic, and they're not really major changes. Because of the journey getting implemented into FIFA this year, you can't expect that much, but still, it's a little bit disappointing. And again, I think it's very, very cheeky for EA to say things like new features in FIFA 17's career mode, giving you greater control. I don't see that personally. I don't think that's true at all. I think they're enhancements to old and current features, and giving you greater control. What exactly do we get greater control over? What exactly do we get greater control over? Unless we can, again, like I said, be able to change the ticket prices and to do things like that. For example, the finances, we don't really get to control that other than the player sales and players being signed and the wage structure and whatnot, which we already have. The managers is the only thing we have greater control over because we can choose what our managers look like. So yeah, I think personally speaking, just on the whole, my overview, my final point on this is that personally speaking, I'm a little bit disappointed and I feel a little bit let down. I don't personally believe these features are massive. I don't believe these features are going to be, improving the game mode significantly. I think just like last year and the year before that and the year before that, this is basically just a very, very brief sort of improvement to the game mode. This is nothing too significant. This is nothing to get too excited about. This is improving the game from an aesthetic standpoint. It makes the game look a little bit better. Again, the finance section in particular, you get more detailed look at it. But in general, it's not a massive improvement from last year or the year before that. And again, I feel a little bit let down. But let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think today, guys. Let me know in the comments what you think. Are you excited? Are you looking forward to the new career mode? Do you think, unlike me, that this is really going to improve the game mode and it's going to make it far superior to the years prior to FIFA 17? Or like me, do you agree that this is a little disappointing and you feel a little bit let down that once again, EA don't seem to care too much about improving this game mode? Let me know in the comment section down below today, guys. Anyway, comment down below and tell me what you think, and let's get a good discussion going. But thank you for watching the video regardless. I hope you have enjoyed it. Please do leave a like if you did enjoy today's video. If you want to read the article yourself, I'll leave a link to it in the description down below. But yeah, thanks for watching regardless. Hope you have enjoyed it. Please do leave a like if you did, and do leave me a comment today and tell me what you think about the new features in FIFA 17's career mode. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you for another video on my channel very soon.